Well, the Detroit Lions won yesterday. That means the Miami Dolphins are the longest team to not win a playoff game. Let's talk about Tua. What is up, Finn fans? We are going to be recapping Tua Tagovailoa's 2023-2024 season. Now, there's some things that we're going to talk about, so I'm going to give you like a rundown of what's going to happen. Because a lot of people are probably watching this like, is Doug finally going to admit that Tua sucks? Is Doug still going to be a Tua-neer? Is Doug going to jump, bandwagons or whatever? Because people have these preconceived notions of me. So as Tua would say, I brought my own receipts. I've been dead consistent throughout my whole Tua Tagovailoa, past 3-4 years. Been dead consistent, and I brought receipts. There's a criteria I needed him to hit. I've said it all along, all that stuff. I talked about not picking up his fifth-year option. I talked about what I needed to see from him, what he needs to do for me to give him a contract extension, all that stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of recap the 2023 season. We're going to go over his stats. We're going to go over a bunch of stuff. And then I'm going to talk about, would I give Tua a contract extension, my thoughts on Tua's 2023 season, and all that stuff. So without further ado, let's jump into this. Now we're going to start with stats. And obviously, Tua Tagovailoa led the league in passing yards, 4,679. He's number one. His yards per attempt were 8.3. That was number three. His completion percentage, 69.3, is number three. 29 touchdowns is tied for fifth. He had 14 interceptions, which is the tied for the fourth most. His big time throw percentage, meaning making the throws and putting in the tight situations and all that stuff, is a 6%, which is number one in the NFL. His turnover worthy plays percentage, so they take the percentages of passes he's thrown and then the turnover worthy throws, and then they divided it and did math, was 3.5, which is eighth. So that's kind of high, his turnover worthy plays. He kind of, tried to do some things there. His drop percentage was 4.9%, which was 26th. So a lot of people think, oh, his receivers dropped a lot of his passes and, all that stuff. Not necessarily. 26th in the NFL with his drop percentage. And again, they take the amount of passes and the amount of drops he's had, and then they find the percentage, and it was 26. There was 25 more quarterbacks who had more drops than Tua did. His time to throw. Now, this isn't release time. This isn't how fast does he let go of the ball. This is how fast from him getting the ball till the pressure gets to him. Time to throw is 2.32 seconds, which is 28th in the NFL. His time to throw has gotten worse. And I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. His rating is a 101.5. That is fourth in the NFL. And first downs, he had on this season 227 first downs, which is fourth in the NFL. So let me show you. I'm going to screen share here for you. I'm going to also move myself because I want to kind of focus on one thing, right? This is his season so far. We're going to look at a bunch of stats, like I said. This is his season so far. But you could see down here how he's gotten better every year. Like it's just progressively gotten better, from the yardage, from the the touchdowns. Unfortunately, interceptions. This is his highest interception year, highest touchdown year. It has all progressively gotten better. Big time throws has gotten better. His actual turnover worthy plays has gotten down by a good amount, by a good portion from his past 2 years. Really good to see that. The drops are kind of the same, but again, drop percentage, because he had more throws, is lower than it was last year because he had less attempts by 161. Sacked more, and this is what I'm talking about, his time to throw. And again, I'll pull up the key just for people who are like, what do you mean by time to throw? Average time to throw on all dropbacks. So it's not release time. It's average time to throw on his dropbacks. It's the worst. It's the worst it's been. And you would think in 2021, or is it 2021, he had the worst offensive line. It is worse. Now, again, it's not because he gets the ball out quick. It's the amount of time he has till the pressure gets to him. His passer rating went down by like 4%. His first downs went up, all that stuff. So he's gotten better from year to year to year. Full year, you see, you got a full year under his belt. This is kind of the idea of what you're getting from Tua Tagovailoa. Now, there's things I wanted to look at. I'm on PFF. There's things I wanted to look at. And the one thing I want to look at is the passing concept, right? Play action, fantastic. He had a 93.3 rating, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a 70.8 completion percentage. Play action, move myself. Play action was huge, and that's why they needed to continue to run the ball, because you see how much play action helped them. 30.2% of the dropbacks was play action. More. Run the ball more. For the love of God, run the ball more. But he did really well in play actions. His turnover-worthy plays are down. His big-time throws were great. Passer rating of 108. All good stats from his play action. Non-play action, him just dropping back, letting it go, letting it rip. Not as good. He had the 12, this is kind of, almost 70% of his dropback, so it's kind of what you're getting the best out of him. Wasn't great, though. Wasn't great. 98.6, not bad. He feasted off of play actions, why they needed to run the ball more. 12 touchdowns, 22 touchdowns, most of his yardage, completions, all that stuff. And that's where you see like the turnover-worthy plays are higher, because this is 70% of the offense. Here's what I found interesting. Screens. His screens were the worst. Now, it's not horrible. It's not in the red, but it's not good, right? His screens were okay. I'm going to round up. 15% of his dropbacks were screens. And they were all right. He got 5 touchdowns, no interceptions out of it. He had a high completion passer rating because he just dumped it off. But you see here, the offense and the passing wasn't great. And this isn't going to matter because it's a screenplay. I don't know why they ran so many screens, bubble screens, and all that stuff. It really didn't work. And then no screens, he did all right. 24 touchdowns. So this is the play action and the no screens, kind of the accumulation of what he did. So essentially, no screens is 85.2%, which is a combination of these two, kind of. 96 passer rating, but I found it interesting that I don't know why they ran the screenplay so much. So we're going to look at other aspects of it. Passing depth. This definitely has gotten better. Definitely gotten better. Now, he struggles at deep center, intermediate left, and short right. His best was deep right and intermediate center. That's where the intermediate center was his bread and butter. That's where he loved to throw the ball. Look at the yardage, 1,234 yards over the middle, 109 passer rating. He had 109 passer rating short center. He had 103.9 passer rating behind the line of scrimmage left, behind the line of scrimmage center, 132 deep right. That's where he was just throwing beautiful bombs to Tyreek. But this has gotten better. This is a huge improvement over, let's say, 2021. Look at the difference. Day and night with the difference. And even in last year, 2022. Much, much better. Not great here. Good here. Medium and deep. He incorporated the short game, and it got better. Pressure. Here's where things get interesting, right? Kept clean. He's good. Fantastic, right? His turnover-worthy plays are low. His big-time plays are high. He was kept clean for 75% of his dropbacks. He was kept clean. Big chunk of yardage, big chunk of his touchdowns. Unfortunately, his interceptions, his passer rating was huge when he's kept clean. He was fantastic when he's kept clean. Any quarterback's going to be fantastic when they're kept clean. When he's under pressure, he's not good. He's not good. I'm going to round it up, 25% of the time he was under pressure. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 622 yards. Not good. This is not good rating. Not good passer rating. Turnover worthy plays gets higher. The big time throws gets high, which is funny to me. But when you blitzed him, he made you pay. And he was good at recognizing that. Knowing, especially because when you blitz him, you're going to leave one of our speedy receivers open. So when you blitzed him, you paid. And it's his highest passer rating, his highest big-time throws, his lowest turnover-worthy plays, 11 touchdowns, no interceptions. But they didn't blitz him much. 22.5, or again, rounded up 23% of the time he was blitzed, because you blitz him, you're going to pay. And then he's not blitzed, which is kind of like kept clean with 78% of the time. Not bad. It's just under the pressure. Under pressure. He's just got to be better under pressure. And here's a prime example of what I'm talking about. Even Josh Allen under pressure isn't great. He runs. But look, under pressure, not great. Another quarterback we'll look up. He's good. Well, that's a horse of a different color, isn't it? He's better under pressure. Better than Josh Allen. But again, that passer rating's low. He's better under pressure. Let's pick one more. I'm trying to think of the top quarterbacks. Let's say Dak. Where's Dak under pressure? He's good under pressure. I'm surprised Josh Allen wasn't so good under pressure. I was like pulling up Josh Allen thinking he would have a fantastic under pressure. No. He was not good under pressure. 9 interceptions. Interesting. But yeah, I just wanted to reference all that stuff. But again, not great under pressure. Most of the NFL isn't. You got Dak Prescott and you got Patrick Mahomes are really good under pressure there. And that's kind of the gist of those stats. There's other stats that I can go into when it comes to all the other things, but those are kind of the stats aspect of it. Tua statistically was top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Number 1 in yards, number 3 in yards per attempt, number 3 in completion percentage, 5 in touchdowns, 4 in passer rating, 4th in first downs. Like, he is essentially like I'll even say statistically top 6 quarterback in the NFL. And even if you look at some other stats when it comes to like accuracy, right? On target throws, he was 12th in the NFL, 75.7%. His bad throw percentage, meaning how many of his throws were off target and bad, he was 26th. So he was accurate, and that's to his strength, is his accuracy. So again, I'm just giving you stats now. I haven't given you any of my opinion on the matter, but I'm giving you stats right now. So with the stats out of the way, again, statistically, you look at Tua Tagovailoa, he's a top 5 quarterback, top 6, top 7 quarterback, but he's the top quarterback in the NFL statistically. But then the things start to pop up that worry me. They might not worry you. They worry me a little bit. And this is where I'll pull up some receipts. So for me, when it came to picking up his 5th-year option, when it came to giving him a contract extension, or for me, when it came to, do we go forward with Tua, I had 2 criteria that I needed to see from him, because he was consistently getting better. Now, there's still some aspects of his game he needs to work on, but there was like 2 criteria that I needed him to hit for me to feel comfortable that he is going to continue to get better and all that stuff. And it was staying healthy and winning a playoff game. And I'll show it to you right now. We need a playoff win. And Tua needs to prove this season that he's the guy to get that contract. He's the guy that we can sit back and say, okay, we can win, and we can win a lot, and we can possibly win a Super Bowl with him at the helm. So I need to see him, chain it together. 15 games minimum and win a playoff game. And then to me, I'm like, yeah, give him a contract extension. And then when you look at if I would pick up his 5th-year option, I said this. I need to see him develop more. I need to see when all of a sudden the defense throws something at you you're not used to. Example, San Fran. Example, LA Chargers. That you can change up and you can adapt. That's the next phase into his development I need to see. I need to see him being able to change and adapt. And that's where I'm in that pickle, right? I need to see the development. I need to see him stay healthy before I throw the 5th year on him. So as of right now, and again, this could change, different circumstances, facts, opinions, make people change their minds. I'm going to say no. So I've been consistent with Tua. I've been consistent with Tua from when we drafted him. You can go back and watch my quarterback prospects video, and I talk about how he's accurate. He's got good pocket presence. He struggles with arm strength. He struggles with pressure on him, and he struggles with wanting to do too much. That's what I said, and it's still consistent. So looking at Tua in 2023, he has, and I've said this before. I said this during the recap of the playoff game, even the recap of the Bills game. There was times where it's like, all right, Tua, you've stayed healthy. You've showed you could stay healthy. You show you can have a command of this offense. I need you to now show me that when the game's on the line, when the lights are the brightest, you can help us win. And those last 3 games, yes, there was drops, and we broke down the film and we looked at the film. He didn't do it. When we needed him to, like even in Kansas City, he was just off. And if it's the cold, then it's the cold, but then that's still a problem because we're going to play cold games. And I showed you, now it's negative 20, 30 degrees is a horse of a different color, but I showed you in Buffalo in 30-degree weather, he had a really good game. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I think it was like 240-something yards. He had like 100-and-something passer rating. He was just off. He was off home at Buffalo. He was off in Baltimore. He was off against Tennessee. He even, if it wasn't for all the field goals against the Cowboys, like he was off at the end of the year. And that's a problem. That's something that needs to be addressed. And we already picked up his 5th-year option. So regardless of what I say, he is going to be a Miami Dolphin in 2024, unless they trade him or something. But will they do that? I doubt that. I doubt they'll trade him. But he, like I said, he consistently keeps getting better, but there's that one thing that is holding him back. Is Tua Tagovailoa a bad quarterback? No. Is Tua Tagovailoa a bust? No. Is he trash? Is he hot garbage? No. And the funny thing is, go listen to TD Finn's talk, which, if you like Tua, you do not like TD. Go listen to TD Finn's talk after the Chiefs game. I think it was, like he went off, it was a long stream, and he was angry. But there was a part in that stream where he said exactly what I just said. Is Tua a bad quarterback? No. Is Tua trash? No. Is Tua a bust? No. Is Tua hot garbage? No. But is Tua the type of quarterback that when your back is against the wall is going to win the game for you? Or when your wide receivers are not doing what they should or this or that, is he going to make the team better on his shoulders? The answer is right now, no. Could it change? It could change. We've seen quarterbacks get better, but I'm answering for 2023, and it's no. We've seen it. We had the games against bad teams where we go down 2 interceptions. That was the Giants game, even the Panthers game, 14-0. And we came back, but that was against bad teams. You look at the Eagles game, throws the interception, could have been a PI, but still, struggles on our offense was struggling in games they shouldn't have. First half of the Chiefs game, struggling. Last 4 plays of the Chiefs game, struggling. Even though we should have ran the ball, at that point you're putting the game and you're putting the team in your franchise quarterback's hands, and he can't make the plays. That's where the problem lies. All right, Tua, we need you. Our run game is being stopped. We need you to help us win this game. It's 4th and 15. Don't throw a 5-yard pass. Like we're depending on you to read the defense and realize that they're going to cover Tyreek Hill. You're going to get double on Tyreek Hill. Look over here for the curl route. And he'll still throw. Against the Chiefs, he threw a deep pass to Tyreek, who's completely double covered. Did not need to throw that. The interception against the Baltimore Ravens, Cedric had a guy mugging him. Did he throw it thinking, hey, okay, maybe I'll get a PI, maybe I'll get a holding on it? You can't take those chances because he was double covered, and then Queen read to his eyes, boom, interception. Like there's instances where we need him to step up. In December, that's the problem. September against the Chargers, that man stepped up. That man, every time we needed a touchdown, he was just on. Throwing pass after pass, boom, 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 down the field, beautiful. Against the Denver Broncos, dropped 70 on them. And I know people are like, who's Denver Broncos? Denver Broncos, go look at their stats when we faced them. It was good. They were like 15th ranked defense when we faced them. To a no-look pass to Devon Achane, like just on. And he's just on and on and on, making throws that, okay, we see you to it. We knew you can make those throws. Come December, I don't know what happens to him. And it comes to the realization that how long do you wait for him to take that next step? Now, I'm going to say it again, and I'll probably repeat myself, and you guys are probably like, oh, God, here he goes again. Tua's not a bad quarterback, but Tua's not I kept hearing people say to me, everything around Tua needs to be perfect for him to be successful. And I get called a Tua-neer, and I get called a Tua stan, I get called all this Tua garbage, because I see facts, I see film, and then I hear what some people say. Tua can't improvise, and Tua can't off-script. And then I show plays of him doing it. Well, he doesn't do it all the time. That's a horse of a different color. If you say to me Tua doesn't do it enough, then I agree with you. Tua needs to do it enough. Tua needs to roll out to his left a little bit more, his strong side, and throw the ball more. He needs to do those more. He needs to trust himself more. I agree with that. What's other ones that I've heard that I'm like, that's just, it's not, and then I push back, and then people are like, well, why are you always defending him? But the one, Tua needs everything perfect around him. Tua's had 11 different rotations on that offensive line. I don't think Tua needs everything perfect around him. I think I don't know, to be honest with you. At this point, you might be right about that one, because I don't know. Tyreek Hill came out and said that they were running the wrong routes and they need to do better at getting open. But you can't look at Tua and expect, it's like looking at, and I'm not comparing the two. I'm not saying Tua is these quarterbacks, but you can't look at like Peyton Manning and say like, oh, you need to, get more time with your legs. You need to roll out, you need to do this, because that's just not the quarterback, and that's not Tua. Tua's not Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes. That's just not who Tua is. He's a pocket passer. You give him a clean pocket, he's going to tear you apart with his accuracy. But I've noticed, and I was watching the Chiefs film, and we even saw the pressure rating, the pressure starts to get to him a little bit. We saw it against Washington. We saw it against the Ravens last year. He has the ability to spin out of blitzes. But for some reason, when December and January come, he doesn't do what he does for the first 3 months of the season. And that's a problem, because we need September Tua in January. And we're not, for 4 years, we haven't gotten that. And a lot of people want to give a mulligan to the first 2 years. I agree. because finally Mike McDaniel came in, he built an offense around him and all that stuff. And some of it, in lies with Mike McDaniel and maybe calling, Kurt Warner even came out and said he needs to call better plays. But there's something not clicking with Tua once the end of the year comes around. And I told my wife I was making this video. My wife knows nothing about football. She likes the Packers because her uncle liked the Packers, and when he used to babysit her, they would talk, he would talk about the Packers, so she became a Packers fan. And I told her the video I was going to make today, and I told her what I was going to talk about, how in September, October, November, Tua is just an MVP caliber quarterback, because he's literally on the MVP, like, Tua's, third in the MVP or second. Then January comes, and he's a different guy. And my wife said to me, again, she knows nothing about football, do you think it's because he's tired? She said that to me. Do you think it's because he's tired? And I don't think so. I pray to God that's not the reason, because I've heard people say maybe his arm gets tired at the end of the year, and especially because this is the first time in his career he's played all 17 games. But I don't think so. And I think me saying I don't think so is more me saying I hope not. But to me, and I'm going to answer the question. I've been rambling on for 25 minutes now. Do I give him a contract extension? First off, I am not. First off, he didn't hit my criteria. He didn't win a playoff game. Regardless if you think that was his fault or not, he didn't help the team win a playoff game. He didn't make the throws, move the ball. He didn't do what he needed to do. Ravens, Bills, Chiefs. Pick one of the three. Step up. Step up at home. Step up in Baltimore. Make the throw. Screw the frozen tundra. You make the move against Tennessee, Baltimore, or the Chiefs, the Bills. You step up and show us you're a franchise quarterback in one of those 3 games. You don't have to go play in the frozen tundra. You play at home in 85 humid weather. And he didn't do it. So it's like, no, I'm not making him the highest. I'm not setting the market with Tua Tagovailoa. He hasn't earned it. He didn't win a playoff game. He didn't do what he needed to do. Now, am I giving Tua a contract extension? Here's where the problem lies. Tua is on the books, and again, this is why I don't want to pick up his 5th-year option. This is why I didn't want to pick up his 5th-year option, and I said it, and I showed you proof. Because he's on the books guaranteed for $20+ million. We are $40 million in cap hell right now. So if the Dolphins were to sign him to a contract extension, they could save about $10 million in cap space by doing that. So therein lies the problem. I'm not even making him top 5 highest paid quarterback. Because to me, the stats are nice and the stats are something to hang your hat on. But at the end of the day, it's about getting a Super Bowl. And as of right now, Tua is not helping us get a Super Bowl. Tua is think like Chad Pennington. Think like, even like Ryan Tannehill. I think Tua is better than Ryan Tannehill. But think Ryan Tannehill when they were the number 1 team, the number 1 seed, the Tennessee Titans. Tannehill was doing what he needed to do, but they really did focus on running the ball with Derrick Henry. There's times Derrick Henry was out, and then Tannehill made the plays like he needed to, but mostly it was a run-first team. With Tua right now, again, people are probably getting all up in their feelings. He hasn't shown me that late in the year he can put the team on his back and make the throws he needs to. So I am not giving him top 5 quarterback money, but if we want the cap space to do more, you got to give him somewhat of an extension. And would he accept an extension that's nowhere near Herbert, Burrow, and Jalen Hurts? Would that be disrespectful to him? I don't know. But I'm not giving him $55 million a year. To the people who are diehard Tua fans, to the people who think, Tua they don't think Tua can do no wrong, because I've had conversations with them. But like the diehard Tua fans, the ones who are really dead set and really think this man can take us somewhere. Comment below. Would you pay him $56 million a year? Would you pay him more than Joe Burrow? Would you pay him, like, would you set the market with his contract? Or would you let him play out that 5th year? But again, letting him play out the 5th year, we kind of, we could still save cap space. That's another video. But overall, in a nutshell, because I ramble on a lot, I talk a lot. That's why I make these videos, because I'm dyslexic, so I like to talk a lot versus reading and writing. Tua did fantastic statistically and fantastic September, October, November of this year. Tua did not hit expectations when it came to December and January of this year. And he needs to for him to earn a contract and for him to shut a lot of people up, he had so many opportunities and he just never took the ball. Like, how many times did I make a preview game against the Ravens, the Bills, and the Chiefs? And I'm like, this is your time, Tua. You want to shut people up, you go out there, you make the throws, you do what you got to do. And he didn't do it. 1, 2, 3 times. And it gets to the point where you're like, when is he going to do it? How long are you going to wait for him? I don't want to do another Ryan Tannehill situation. We missed out on Josh Allen with Ryan Tannehill. We missed out on Patrick Mahomes, with Ryan Tannehill, because we were like, we have Ryan Tannehill. We have a quarterback. We can draft other pieces. And all of these high quality, high caliber quarterbacks went to other teams because we were resting on our laurels with a quarterback who maybe this year he can turn the whatever. Because again, I will repeat this. Tua is not a bad quarterback. Tua will win you games, but sometimes Tua needs more help than the superstars. That's just my opinion on it. Will Tua be a superstar quarterback? Time will tell. Right now, 2023 was fantastic for Tua for 3 months. Even the whole offense, I talked about this, the whole offense struggled after the bye. They couldn't get it going. For some reason, after the bye, couldn't get it going. But, this is where I get frustrated. This is the last thing I'm going to say, because I've been rambling and talking on forever. This is where my frustration comes in with Tua. And it's been my frustration with Tua from his rookie year. I've seen him make the throws. I've seen him constantly make the throws that people say he can't make. And then for his freshman year, after his rookie year, I said he needs to be more consistent. Sophomore year, I need to see more of that consistency. Third year, okay, we're getting consistency, but I need him to stay healthy, and we need to win a playoff game. I'm still not getting that consistency. It seems like the consistency kind of fell off because, again, I'm repeating myself ad nauseum. The beginning of the year, lights out Tua. September, October, MVP caliber Tua. November, MVP caliber, and then December and January, he's missing throws that we've seen him make. What is it? I don't have the answer, so I'm asking you guys. What is it that's making him miss the throws that he's making in the beginning of the year? But again, I am not giving him top 5 quarterback money. I'd like to give him somewhat of an extension to save cap space, but I'm not paying him probably what he wants, so that probably won't happen. I need to see more out of him. I need to see him win a playoff game. I need to see him help us late in the year. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'm very interested to read your comments. Some people are going to be mad at me. I know. Either they're going to say I wasn't harsh enough on Tua or I was too harsh on Tua. It's the two different ends. But to the people who are nice to me, I appreciate you. I'm just kidding. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We got a lot of videos left, and then cap space, and then free agency, and then I have a list over here of videos. I never stop. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. But like usual, stay classy. Offense up.